And we are back. Monday Night Football. The Seattle Seahawks, led by Russell Wilson, traveled to take on the Washington Football Team. Right now, this game is virtual pick'em. Right now, the Washington Football Team favored by just 1 point. The over/under 46.5. Now, my favorite player prop, a spread pick, and a same game parlay cooked up for you guys all in just about 8 minutes. So subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. My name's Austin from Calling Our Shot, and we're gonna get after it. You could potentially be our 14,000th subscriber too. That'd be pretty cool. You can put that on your resume and get you a job. I guarantee it. But we're gonna get into it. Comment your best bet down below. I'm curious what you guys are playing. Sometimes I tell you guys down below, you guys have a lot of great analysis, so I'm curious what you guys are going with. But today, we're going to start with my player prop, and we're going to keep it going. Russell Wilson, I'm taking his over 35.5 for his yards longest reception. Now, that means he has to complete a pass 36 yards or longer to cash this one. It's minus 114 on FanDuel. Now, Wilson, we know him. If you watch him, you know he loves to take a ton of deep shots, and this year has been no different. He continues to take a ton of deep shots, probably more than anyone else in the NFL. And now Wilson is battling back from an injury, just 2 games under his belt since getting his finger injured a couple weeks back against the Rams on Thursday Night Football. Truthfully, hasn't really looked like himself. He hasn't been 100%, but I think another, 7 days under his belt, I think he'll finally be getting back into groove, and he's really attempting like 5 to 10 passes deep every single game. So all he has to do is connect on one of them. I think he'll get that done today. Now, yeah, obviously, he's got Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, two of the best receivers in the NFL, a great wide receiver duo. Obviously, he still has Freddie Swain. He still has Gerald Everett, tight ends that can stretch the field, and obviously Freddie Swain's a wide receiver, the third one on the team. They love to send these guys deep, and I think that tonight will be no different. Now, you look at the Seahawks, they're going to continue to take deep shots in 7 games so far this season. Russell Wilson has hit this over in 4 of them. Now, that included last week with a 48-yard completion against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, let's talk about his 3 times he went under. Now, one game was against the Niners. It was completely legit. Nothing you can do about that. I think he had a 28-yard completion, and that one didn't go over. Now, the next loss was against the Rams. Like I said, that was the game he got injured. So he got injured in the third quarter, didn't play the rest of the third, missed the whole entire fourth quarter. So, he went under, but you don't really know. He didn't play the full game. And then the third game that he went under in his 7 games so far this season was against the Packers. And yeah, that was his first game back from injury. He attempted, I don't have the exact number. He attempted a ton of deep shots because I can remember watching that game. He kept throwing. I don't know Tyler Lockett's air yards, but it was ridiculous how many air yards he had. They just never completed one. And that you kind of could expect that. Russell Wilson returning from an injury, still getting into the groove of things, and then they just kind of thrust them out there against the Packers defense that has kind of been playing pretty decent so far this season. And he attempted at least probably 7 to 10 deep bombs to Lockett and DK Metcalf, just never connected on any of them. But I like the opportunity that he's been given us, and that's what you need today to cash this bet over 35.5 passing yards for his longest completion. I think you will have that against this Washington Football Team defense, which has been better of late, but still not the best in the NFL by any stretch of the means. In terms of this specific statistic, 2 of the last 5 quarterbacks to face them have gone over this line. So only 40% of the time. The 3 quarterbacks that went under, Cam Newton, not known for throwing it deep. Teddy Bridgewater, not known for throwing it deep, although he did have 2 31-yard completions. So very close to this. Might even have cashed his regular over and longest completion because his number is not 35.5 like Russell Wilson. And the last guy was Aaron Rodgers, who really just took whatever the defense gave him, and he threw the ball and completed 77% of his passes, just never had to complete a deep one. Now, the 2 quarterbacks that went over this line, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. I like what we're seeing with Russell Wilson. He should give us a decent amount of opportunities tonight. All right, this is over. 35.5 yards for his longest completion. Now, spread pick time. That's why you guys are here. Taking the Seattle Seahawks +1. Now, I get it. You got 2 teams moving in opposite directions. You got one hand, you got the Seahawks. I don't know what to tell you. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games. Haven't looked good. The 2 games Russell Wilson has been back, Packers and Cardinals, the offense looked terrible, and I can't sugarcoat it on that. They've looked bad, and I understand if you're like, why are you betting the Seahawks? Now you go on the other hand, you have the Washington Football Team, winners of their last 2 games after their bye week. They look decent. Now they beat the Bucs, obviously, with that crazy fourth quarter drive, ended with a touchdown. And last week they beat Cam Newton in his return to the Carolina Panthers in Charlotte. His return, and the fan base went crazy. Yeah, Ron Rivera marched into there and took him down. And I get it. But it's still, when I look at this game, it's going to come down to 2 things. Russell Wilson and Taylor Heineke, and I'm going to ride with Russell Wilson. Now, I get it. He's been bad the past 2 weeks, but this is still a guy that he has a lot more in the tank, and I think he has something to prove on Monday Night Football. Now, for starters, the Seahawks are the best team in Monday Night Football history. They are 28-11 straight up, and they've won 71.8% of their games on Monday Night Football. And I don't have their exact winning percentage with Pete Carroll, but it's pretty high considering they've been on primetime Monday Night Football a lot of times under Pete Carroll. Now, you look at it, the next closest team to them is the 49ers, who have won just 63.3% of their games. And on the other side, Washington football team only won 31 of the 31. They're 31 and 46 on Monday Night Football, winning just over 40% of their games. Now, I know we're not basing our entire analysis on past success, but still, you do have to look at it. Seahawks under Pete Carroll have been a wagon on Monday Night Football. But regardless, and speaking of Pete Carroll, this is a guy coaching for he's on the hot seat. And now that might be a hot take, but I do think there's a chance he could be let go after the season. At some point, the Seahawks are going to have to let go of their longtime coach since 2010. And I understand you don't want to, Pete Carroll's loved by the fan base. He's 70 years old. The fans love him, but still, at some point, they haven't really had that Super Bowl success that they were thriving in earlier on in his career as the Seahawks head coach. Eventually, they're going to have to let him go. So this is a game Seahawks have to win it. Primetime Monday Night Football. Just going to ride with them. I think Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson get it down on the road. Now, Washington football team is due a letdown game. You see teams like this have, they go on a short winning streak. Boom, they get smashed the next game or lose the next game outright. You saw that exactly with the Philadelphia Eagles, who, look, they're in the same division, NFC East. I'm just saying, I think Washington football falls tonight at home, and that's why I'm riding with the Seattle Seahawks. They're due a win. They need to get this win for not only playoff standings, they don't have their first round pick. That's going to my New York Jets. So, heck, if they want to lose, go for it. It helps our draft pick from them. I'm going to ride with Russell Wilson. I think they get it done. I'm taking them +1. Take their money line if you want. There's hardly a difference in terms of the odds that you're getting it at. So, we'll take the Seahawks +1. In case we get a tie, which you never know, it's Monday Night Football. Now, same game parlay time. We've got +300, 3 legs last week. We just missed 2 rushing yards from Leonard Fournette. We needed 40 at 38. It was a facepalm one, just one that made you just cry. But this week, we're going with this one. DK Metcalf, 50+ receiving yards. Alex Collins, 25+ rushing yards. And an anytime touchdown for Alex Collins, +300 value. Start with DK. In his 4 career Monday Night Football games, had 70+ receiving yards in all 4 of them. I don't know if he gets into the end zone tonight, but you got to look at the Seahawks. They got Tyler Lockett going last week with over 100 yards. I think they get DK Metcalf going this week. He's been 3 straight games under the number, and they've struggled. What do you do when you're struggling? You got to get one of your best, if not your best player, skill position player, the ball on offense. They're going to get it to him, and I think he'll have a big game tonight. Now, prior to those last 3 games he went under, he hit the over in 7 straight games. So I think he's going to hit this at least 50+ receiving yards. We'll ride with him. Now, moving on to Alex Collins, which I know you're like, who the heck's Alex Collins? Well, Rashad Penny and Chris Carson. Rashad Penny is banged up. He's questionable to play today. Chris Carson out for the season. So you got Alex Collins. He's hit 25+ rushing yards in 7 straight games. Should see another 10 to 12 to 14 carries tonight. I think I like the opportunity that he's seeing. He should be able to get us 25 rushing yards. Not necessarily saying that's too hard of a leg. Now the anytime touchdown, that's me calling my shot. And just like Logan told me, and I could still totally see this happening. Just imagine you close your eyes and you just think about it. Seahawks run a deep play, throw it deep to DK Metcalf. He's going up for it, and the Washington football team's corner just hugs on him. Defensive pass interference. Ball goes on the 1-yard line. Here comes Alex Collins trotting in, just leaping into the end zone. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Alex Collins has not scored in 4 straight games, and so he's due a touchdown. That's how it normally works. Players that haven't scored, they're due one. I think Alex Collins gets in. He has scored in 1 of his 2 career Monday Night Football games back in 2017, so you're saying there's a chance. And I think he gets it done, +300 value. So we're going to lock in that. We got DK Metcalf, 50+ receiving yards. Alex Collins, 25+ rushing yards. And an anytime touchdown for Alex Collins, +300 value. I love those odds. Now, that'll do it. Let's recap real quick. Obviously, that same game parlay, the Seahawks +1 and the Russell Wilson over 35.5 rushing or longest completion. Appreciate you guys. Let me know your favorite bet down below. I'm curious what you guys are playing. Click that subscribe button. Maybe we have 14,000 subscribers and we do a parlay giveaway. We appreciate you guys. Finally, I am back at home from the short holiday break. We're here to keep cranking out the content for you guys, becoming a little more active on all of our social medias. So make sure you subscribe, follow us on social medias down below. We appreciate you guys. This has been Austin. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.